All right, so real quick, let me tell you a little bit about MSPbots. The idea behind the platform is that we help your internal business operations, specifically helping you manage the people to follow the process of your organization. The more people that we have in an organization, the more susceptible to human error. And the concept behind MSPbots is to help you navigate those gaps and manage to the process that you need to execute in your organization. So a couple of ways that we do that. You see here the four different areas that we focus on. Each one of these is dedicated to solving a problem within your organization's process. First thing that we focus on is our business intelligence. This is going to give you the visibility into your business by providing you fast and flexible access to the data in your business. We have over 70 different integrations that we're plugged into and counting. We should hit about 100 integrations by the end of the year, maybe 200 by the end of next year. So we're continually adding more and more integrations to be part of the MSP's tech stack. So as you pull in, KPIs, process, finding the gaps in the process, this is what this business intelligence platform is here to provide for us. We can do QBRs, provide your clients with a client portal to see their data as well. And we also provide benchmarking for MSP. So you can see how you stack up against other MSPs that use MSPbots. So the number one key in managing your process is you have to have visibility into it. And we do that with our business intelligence platform. Then we do have our bots, and our bots really are an extension of your service delivery manager. The idea here is that we're going to mimic what your service manager does on a daily basis in managing the technicians. If you struggle with repeating the same thing over and over to technicians or chasing them down to get the right steps right, this portion of the platform is going to help your service manager find those gaps, mimic what the service manager is doing today, and then message the technicians on what actions need to be taken. The great thing about these bots is they also can look at that dashboard and those reports from the business intelligence and act proactively to alert you of any KPIs, any thresholds that are being crossed, anything that's waiting too long. Those bots can look at that dashboard and be proactive, as well as look at the process that the technicians are working through. And if there are any gaps or any errors, the bots take action immediately, notify them so they can take action. With these bots, we're able to save about 30 to 40% of a manager's time in just chasing down the technicians to follow the right steps. The next thing we have in the process that we automate is the dispatch process with Next Ticket. The idea here is to help you save about 80% of what a dispatcher is doing on a daily basis, and to automate that dispatch and also eliminate the cherry picking and the random picking that happens when technicians are grabbing tickets off of a service board. We do that by taking the logic that a dispatcher uses today on how to dispatch those tickets. We put that in an app, and we make sure that we automate that for you, and it eliminates the coordination that the dispatcher has to do in order to get the ticket to the dispatcher, and eliminates the cherry picking from the dispatcher in picking their ticket for what they should work next. And finally, we do have an attendance manager here. This attendance manager helps not only provide updated status on what the technician is doing that day, whether they're in or out, on site, working from home, but also gives them visibility into what the team is doing. Are they working on a ticket? Are they idle? In addition to that, our bots can help improve your utilization. The way we do that is with our bots, making sure the technician understands what their utilization is real time, making sure that they're practicing the right habits when it comes to ticket hygiene, make sure that utilization is entered immediately and on time. So ultimately, that attendance manager will help your technicians input the right information real time to improve your utilization. So overall, these are the four components that make up MSPbots, and we'll go ahead and take a tour through the platform. So first, let's start with business intelligence. So real quick, I want to show you from a dashboard perspective, there's really a lot in here. And the reason is we have over 10 times the assets of any other business intelligence platform. Let me just show you a quick sample. For example, ConnectWise Manage. We have over 100 different pre-built dashboards that come from day one that you could use. And that's a lot. And that's a lot. And the reason why we bring in so many dashboards for you is so that it gives you the flexibility to use other pre-built assets. You don't have to go searching for things on your own. You don't have to create everything on your own. We have a library in here that's going to help you get started. So most technicians or most organizations most organizations will have a few templates that they start off with, but then you end up having to customize a lot. The reason that we're going to minimize on that is we already have, probably already have what you're looking for in here pre-built. Now, how do we navigate through all of these dashboards? Well, we'll venture over to our apps, and our apps are going to be a place where we're going to consolidate a lot of these dashboards. There's a lot of functionality pre-built in here. So for example, we looked at the ConnectWise dashboards. I want you to think of the dashboards as maybe books in a library. And then I want you to look at these apps right here with the ConnectWise logos. It's kind of different sections of that library. Your fiction, your nonfiction, your romance sections, right? We're going to be able to pull these together for you in one place so that you can grab those dashboards to view. For example, we can look at some ticket metrics here from ConnectWise. You jump into this dashboard pre-built for you. We have several you can choose from in regards to some ticket activities or some active ticket summaries. And you can look through the different widgets we already have pre-built. Each one of these you can dig in, click into, and drill down and see some additional information as well, filtered by that particular widget. So we have several dashboards. We have different apps that'll bring those dashboards together, and you can go through that library of dashboards and widgets. But also one of the things that I want to show you is we have ways for you to benchmark yourself against other users in the MSPbots app. So for example, you can use this for different KPIs, whether it's utilization or in this one, a late time entry report, where you can actually compare yourself to other MSP users. Find out where you stack rank up against them, where you stack rank against the average of the MSPs, the top 20 MSPs, and really get a good sense of where your MSP falls in comparison. Not only can we do some benchmarking, but we also have a way for you to do financial analysis or your profit insights with the MSPbots Profit Insights app. This particular app is going to pull together data from your QuickBooks, from your PSA, to be able to analyze your profitability, to analyze the agreement profitability by company, general agreement profitability, and your profit margins. Again, these are dashboards we already have pre-built for you. You don't have to go searching for them. You don't have to go creating them. The idea behind these is that you're going to be able to have templated reports and dashboards showing you how your business is operating. Even stack ranking some of your most profitable and least profitable agreements. And so you'll see here we have agreement revenue trend, gross margin trends. See how your business is trending over the course of the year. In addition, if you are part of a peer group, for example, if you're part of a True Methods peer group, reporting numbers on a monthly or quarterly basis, we can help automate a lot of that reporting as well. So, for example, in True Methods, you will have a few dashboards, smart numbers, leadership dashboards you're required to bring to your peer group on a monthly or quarterly basis. We spend a lot of time hunting and searching for that data and for those numbers, and we can automate that for you by pulling directly from the source and bringing them to these dashboards. So now when you do go to those meetings, you don't have to actually go grab them yourself. We have PSA information, RMM information, QuickBooks information from your accounting package. We bring all that data together and automate that reporting for you and save you a lot of time. So you can get the theme here with what we've built. We have a lot of pre-built assets for you so that from day one, you already have a lot to work with, whether it's KPI dashboards, whether it's business analysis and profitability, whether it's peer group data, whether it's benchmark data. We have a lot of pre-built assets for you. However, if you want to get granular and you want to get flexible with some of these dashboards, if for any reason you're looking through all these templates and you say, you know what, this is great stuff, it gets me 80-90% of the way there, but there's still some customization that I need to do. At the end of the day, our platform is very flexible. You're able to get down all the way down to the data set level, look at the data sets from each one of these integrations. As long as we're pulling data sets, as long as we have visibility into the information from these integrations, we'll be able to visualize what you're looking for. That's our limitation. Do we have the integration and the data set, and do we know what we want to visualize and how we want to visualize it? If so, we can create it. We can create that dashboard or that widget for you so you can visualize that, whether it's multiple data sets from multiple different integrations, adding calculations on top of it. It gives you the flexibility to custom make your own dashboards and widgets. So that's the business intelligence platform, top level, hundreds of assets for you pre-built, thousands of pre-built widgets, so you don't have to go starting from scratch. But if you need to, you have access to create your own customized dashboards and widgets as well. With that, I'm going to transition over to our bots. Now, the great thing about bots, I had mentioned, these are an extension of your service delivery manager. The idea here being, if you find yourself chasing technicians over and over to do the same things, right? Whether it's their time entries, whether it's they're not putting any next steps in the notes, whether they forgot to do some sort of action, whether something's waiting for too long. It doesn't matter. If it's repeatable over and over, likelihood is we already have a bot either pre-built for that or can build a bot for that. So here are a couple of templated bots that we already have. We have about 100 different templated bots. On the left-hand side, you can pick your integration. We can dive into the actual bot itself. And I want to show you how these are designed, that you can then go in and design your own. So the idea here with the data set is you're going to look for the bot rather. Thing about the bot is you're going to look at the data set that you're looking to pull the information from. Again, based on the data set, based on the source, we have real-time data pulling from that data set. The next thing you do is create a filter for that bot. What exactly do you want that bot to be looking for? Once we give it the definitions and the parameters, the bot is ready to look for that. The next step, decide what is the alert methodology. Do we want to send this through a Teams alert, through a private channel, through a public channel? We have Slack integration as well. And then we decide who should be the recipient of this particular bot message. Is it the owner of a ticket? Who's the owner of this KPI? This is the person that should know when action needs to be taken. And then we enter the actual notes themselves to not only alert the technician or that person, the owner of that, or to alert the owner of that KPI that there was an issue and action needs to be taken, but also what action needs to be taken. And then finally, we decide on whether or not there's an escalation step. The escalation step could be whatever threshold you decide. If I trigger that bot too many times, and too many is, that definition is up to you. If it's 3 times in a day, 5 times in a week, 5 times in a day, you decide what that threshold is. But at that point, you can decide on a layer of management to also be included. So this bot goes out to that particular manager if the bot gets triggered too many times, saying, hey, I need you to take action on this step as well. This technician, this individual has been unable to complete this task, whether it's been triggering this bot too many times, need human intervention, need that manager to step in. As a manager, you don't want to know every single time something needs to be corrected. What you do want to know is at what level should you get involved? And that's what the escalation step is for. So again, look at what the data source is, what type of data are we pulling, What filters are we using? We'll give the bot the parameters, decide on what the alert is going to be, and then fire off in an escalation path. I do have a few messages already put together in this Word document to give you an idea of what these bot messages look like via Teams. So, for example, this is a time entry alert with somebody who forgot to attach the agreement. Basically saying, "Hey Billy, this time entry, and by the way, this links straight into the ticket. Go ahead and click into this ticket. By the way, you have forgotten to attach the agreement on this particular account. This is why you're getting this message, and this is what I need you to do to fix it." Right? Hey Ralph, this ticket that you're working on has been in progress for too long. It's been in progress for 48 minutes. Our company rule is to escalate after 45. You're still working on it. You need to close that ticket or escalate it. Hey, Tara, you forgot to enter next steps in your time entry. Go back to the time entry. Go ahead and fix it. By the way, if you need to know what good looks like, here's an example. We're going to give you a good example or a template of how to do this time entry and how to write good next steps. And as you can see here, you're actually forcing the technician to look at the step that they missed. You're able to coach that technician on good best practices and make sure that that sticks with them in real time so they can take that action. So that's what the bots are doing. They're mimicking the service manager, sending the message exactly the way a manager would about what we missed, what needs to happen, giving them the instructions, and therefore coaching them. Now, the great thing about the bots is it's going to give us a lot of visibility into some of our processes we didn't have before. So, for example, I'm going to share with you a customer or client story. So, in the screenshot, what we see here is actually a technician who we're monitoring their whether or not they're entering next steps in the notes. You can see in the yellow box here, they actually benchmarked before we started firing the alerts off. We benchmarked how many times was this technician triggering the bot. And you could see anywhere between 15 to 22 times a day, this technician was not entering next step into their note section of the ticket. So very obvious to leadership that we are missing some steps here. We're skipping on the step. We're not doing the right process here. We do need to take action. And the great thing about this also is instead of just guessing that there's a problem, we could actually visually see to what extent the problem lies. How bad is this problem? And we could see, this is virtually every single ticket. Now, at this phase right here, they went ahead and did a quick stand-up and training about the fact that the bot would start triggering and sending them alerts to notify them and remind them to go back into those tickets if they close a ticket without any next steps. And you can see over the course of 3 weeks, this particular technician was being coached by the bot and eventually was barely triggering that bot at all. So these bots not only helped coach this technician to improve, but now as a leader, I can see visually, did this process improve? Did it stay the same? Did it get any worse? Right? How bad is the problem? Here is a great example of being able to identify how deep the problem goes and whether or not the process improves with the use of the bots. I'm going to transition over to what we call Next Ticket. And the Next Ticket app, like I mentioned, it helps automate about 80% of what your dispatcher does, as well as eliminates the cherry picking of tickets. Now, here is what I want to show you first is the technician experience. From my standpoint, maybe today I'm grabbing tickets off of a service board or dispatcher is sending them to my queue, and then I'm going to grab those tickets off of a service board. The change here in our dispatch process is instead of me going to my service board or to ConnectWise, I use Teams every single day as a technician. I'm communicating with my team. All I got to do is enter the prompt NT, which stands for next ticket. It'll go ahead and fetch the next ticket that's in the queue for me. I can go ahead and accept that ticket And what it'll do, it can move it into in progress and assign myself as the owner or as the resource. And this link here will actually take me into ConnectWise so I could start working on that particular ticket. Whenever I'm done, I can come back in here, my next ticket, and hit NT again and be delivered my next ticket over and over again until the end of the day. As a technician, that's the training. Just go fetch my ticket in next ticket. I no longer have the decision to go grab a ticket off of a board which has 7, 10 tickets, and I have to make the decision which one should I work next. I'm not working off of my calendar. I'm working straight off of Teams. It's delivering the next ticket for me. And this here is the most important ticket that I need to be working. Now, how do we make sure that this is the most important ticket that we're working? Well, let's go into the app and we'll see how the sausage is made. Here you'll see actually the queue of the tickets that are assigned to the service board that I have access to. Now, you'll see here on this column, there's these these tickets have all been scored. The score of these tickets, the higher the score, makes it more important, and therefore the next ticket that I'm going to work. This is dynamic, meaning if a new ticket comes in, it can jump up the ladder board so that it gets closer to being dispatched. And the reason we do that is to make sure that the technician, when they hit NT, are actually getting the most important ticket that's in the queue. So this allows for a flexibility, allows for the technician to not have to make the decision, nor the dispatcher to have to make the decision on what is the next ticket. Now, how do we determine which one's the most important tickets to choose from? Well, this is where our priority points come into play. We're going to set rules. So if you had a list of 10 tickets in the queue, how would you decide which one's the very next one that you would pick? That's kind of the exercise that we do here. And so we're going to use units of about 1,000 points in order to score the tickets based on these variables, based on these scenarios. So for example, a priority type. If it's a low priority ticket, maybe we give it a low amount of points. The higher the priority of that ticket, the more points it gets. It becomes crucial. It needs to shoot to the top of the queue. Potentially you have SLAs on that particular agreement that came in. We can look at that agreement. We can see what your SLA is for that customer and say, okay, as a block of time falls off of that SLA, add more points to it. So the closer it gets to 0, the higher it's shooting up on that priority list, the more points that it has. So you can see here as the points go down, the higher the points allocated to that ticket. But now also, not only can we do some of the basic, variables that your dispatcher is looking at today, we can also look at some additional variables because we can look at this real time immediately when we see the ticket. For example, all things being equal in a priority status, if a CEO or a person in charge of renewing the contract creates the ticket, should we bump that up in priority? All else things being equal, do we want to prioritize that and work that one closer to the top? Potentially, yes. Could be by contact type as well. A watch list. A watch list can be, one of those scenarios where we have a big client at risk of churning. We've messed up one too many times. Let's add them to the watch list so that when they create a ticket, all else, everything being equal, right? We're going to bump that one to the top. We need to get to it. We need to respond to them in order to get any issues taken care of. It could be, things like who moved the ticket into in progress. Maybe you want to prioritize it for the same tech who moved that ticket into in progress. The client responds. You might want to prioritize that for me over other technicians because I already have a history of working with that client. And you could put it at the top of my queue because I was the one who originally started that ticket or moved that ticket into progress. It could be based off of the MRR. How many dollars do they pay you? Does that matter? If there's a ticket in the queue that pays you 3 times somebody else's MRR, do you want to prioritize that? You have the option to do so. We can get even as granular as the skill sets within the PSA. If you're using skill sets in ConnectWise and saying, hey, if there's a particular issue that comes up, whether it's a server issue, for example, and maybe me as a technician, I don't know anything about servers, don't send it to me. If I don't have that particular skill set, you can reduce points. You can add points for someone who does, so that even in a queue full of technicians with different skill sets, we can prioritize the tickets accordingly. You have the ability to create your custom rules. We can see anything within the company, the contact, the agreement, any of those layers within ConnectWise or within the PSA that allow us to create rules and prioritize those scenarios above others. This is a automation where we can automate the ticket dispatch process. Never calls in sick, never takes vacation, and can factor in multiple variables at the same time. And as a technician, all I have to do now is just hit NT and I can get my next ticket without having to spend the time and the resource to look into every ticket. And then it eliminates the cherry picking and the random picking as a technician. The last thing that I want to cover with you is going to be our attendance manager. The attendance manager is pretty straightforward. Again, we're going to work within Teams because this is where the technicians are already working, whether Teams or Slack. We can clock in here, right, to show our attendance that we're in. You can have different statuses, whether it's on site or working from home. The great thing about this is, even when I clock in and out, say, hey, I'm ready to go for the day, the bot says, great, hang on, hold up. By the way, you have your utilized hours that you worked is X, your total hours worked is Y, which makes your utilization today this amount. And if it's under your budgeted amount, 85 to 100%, it'll show up as red. And then it'll tell the technician, hey, real quick before you go, make sure to look at your calendar. Make sure to look at if you have any overlapping time entries or tickets in progress. And by the way, if they do, we'll link them right here into this message, right, into this bot message, to make sure that if they have anything pending that has to do with their utilization, they are going to take care of it immediately. So keeping their utilization freshly in front of them every single day, messaging them when they have overlapping time entries or tickets in progress will help them practice the right ticket hygiene in order to improve and boost your utilization. Also, you do get a dashboard for the attendance as well, so that you can see here you have a dashboard of the team and what their status is. They're at, blue is showing that they're at lunch, green that they're in today. But also on the lower third, you can see also what their status is. Are they working a ticket? And if so, how long have they been working that ticket? If they're not working a ticket, they'll show up as idle time. How long have they been in that idle status? This way you could see, whether or not the technician is actively working tickets, what their status is, and if they are working a ticket, how long they've been working that. So it gives you a visualization, this is especially useful for teams who work on hybrid teams or work on fully remote teams, and make sure the service manager and the team leader have the ability to visualize what the team is up to, what they're working on, who's available. That way you can manage the team more efficiently. So that is the 30,000 foot view of MSPbots. Again, to recap, we are going to give you the business intelligence that is going to give you visibility into your process, show you any gaps in your process, benchmark yourself against other MSPs, give you more integrations than any other BI tool in the industry, and also give you helpful business analysis, financial analysis, profitability analysis of how your business is doing by giving you several templates, more templates than anybody has out there for these type of tools. The bots are going to act as a service delivery manager. They're the ones who are going to keep an eye on that dashboard for you, let you know when something goes from green to red or 0 to 1, or it's been open for too long, or if a technician isn't following the right process, and help coach them to the right behaviors and the right process, and save you a lot of time from chasing down the technicians for any errors they might be committing. And finally, the next ticket manager is a way to automate the ticket dispatch. It'll save you 80% of your time, of your dispatcher's time. No more cherry picking, no more random picking of tickets, no more forgetting the tickets, no more needing a service coordinator to babysit the tickets and the technicians. We can do that with Next Ticket and the bots, and really save you all a lot of time and automate um, a lot of headaches. And then finally, the attendance manager is going to help improve your utilization, allow the team to give an update on their status while also reminding them of the good ticket hygiene and what their utilization is on a daily basis to make sure they improve that utilization every day.